when a body which is capable of oscillation is slightly displaced from its equilibrium position of motion, then the body starts a to and fro oscillation with its own natural angular frequency. And this type of vibration we call the free vibration. Here we assume that the body freely vibrates due to the elastic forces are present, and the vibration continues indefinitely for a long time with a constant amplitude of motion. That means there is no decay in the amplitude of this kind of vibration. And for free vibration, we have from our basic knowledge that the force acting, the restoring force is minus kx. And from Newton's second law, we have mass into acceleration. The force is mass into acceleration. So mass into acceleration equal to minus kx, and we have d2x dt2 is equal to minus k by mx, where k is called the force constant. If we write omega as root over of k by m, then we have d2x dt2 plus omega square x equal to 0. This is the equation for free vibration, and graphically we have shown a free vibration where in the graph it is clear that the amplitude remains constant over time. But a complete free vibration is not possible due to the presence of some resistive force in the medium. This resistive force may be the viscous force, which plays a crucial role in controlling the vibration of the system, and due to the presence of this kind of opposing forces, the energy of the oscillation decreases with course of time, and we cannot assume that the amplitude of this kind of vibration remains constant, and amplitude decays with time, and after a certain time the vibration dies out gradually. And this kind of motion, in which the amplitude of motion decreases gradually with time due to the presence of resistive forces, are called damped harmonic oscillation. As we show in the figure here, a displacement versus time graph, and we can see from the figure that the amplitude is decreasing with time as the presence of the resistive forces. And look here, some of the features which is given here, that the damping force is proportional to velocity, and here along with the restoring force, a damping force is also acting over the particle, and the motion is periodic but no more simple harmonic in nature. And the second one is the amplitude decreases with time. And for an example, the oscillation of a bob of a simple pendulum inside a viscous liquid is an example of damped harmonic oscillation. We have already discussed about the definitions and some examples about damped harmonic oscillation. We also discussed about the features of damped harmonic oscillation. Now we are going to obtain the differential equation for a body executing damped harmonic motion, and we are going to solve this differential equation. Let us suppose the motion of a oscillatory body in the presence of damping force. As we already know that the damping force arises due to the presence of frictional force, viscous force in the medium, and the mechanical energy of vibration decreases to overcome these resistive forces of nature, and as a result the amplitude of vibration decreases with time, and after a certain time the vibration dies out. So let us consider first of all what kind of forces are acting over a body under damped harmonic oscillation. As we know that for a body in harmonic oscillation, first of all a restoring force acts over a body. So first of all we are going to discuss what is the restoring force. As we know, the restoring force is given by, we call it a restoring force Fr, we know it is equal to minus kx, where k was the force constant, its unit was Newton per meter, force per unit length, that is, it is the restoring force. Now In addition to this, in case of damped harmonic motion, another force works which is called the damping force, and the damping force is proportional to the velocity and can be represented by F equal to minus R dx dt. This is the damping force. Here R is the damping force per unit velocity. Unit velocity. Damping force per unit velocity, that is R. So now, if we put these two forces all together, so total force acting on the body is the restoring force plus the damping force. And from the Newton's law, we know that F is given by mass of the body into acceleration. This is equal to restoring force is minus kx, and the damping force is minus R dx dt. So now, by dividing this equation by m, we have d2x dt2 plus R by m dx dt plus k by m x, this is equal to 0. Now look here, what is k by m? This is, we already know, this is omega square. This is a natural frequency of vibration, natural angular frequency. And if we write R by m as some 2b, write R by m as 2b, and k by m is omega naught square. That is the natural angular frequency. Then we obtain the differential equation d2x dt2 plus R by m is equal to 2b, that is dx dt plus omega naught square x, this is equal to 0. So this is the differential equation of a body executing damped harmonic motion. Now look here, if the damping was 0, there was no damping, then this term will vanish and we obtain the equation of a simple harmonic motion. But due to the presence of damping, a new term is present in this equation, and our task is to solve this differential equation. So now we are going to solve this differential equation. First of all, let us assume that x equal to c e to the power alpha t. This one is a trial solution of this differential equation. Suppose this is a. We mark this equation by 1. So we have dx dt, it is c alpha e to the power alpha t, and d2x dt2, it is c alpha square e to the power alpha t. Putting all the values of a and b and c into this equation, we have alpha square plus 2b alpha plus omega naught square. This is into c e to the power alpha t. This is equal to 0. As we have taken c e to the power alpha t as our trial solution, so this should not be equal to 0. This should not be 0. So which will be 0? This one will be 0. So we have alpha square 2b alpha plus omega naught square, this is equal to 0. C to the power alpha t is equal to 0. So now from this equation, this quadratic equation, we have two roots. The roots are alpha is minus b plus minus root over of b square, that is 4b square, minus 4ac, a into c, that is omega 0 square, whole divided by 2a. So from the knowledge of your class 12 mathematics, we have the two roots. So one root is if we write it alpha 1, it is minus b plus root over of b square minus omega naught square, and alpha 2 is minus b minus root over of b square minus omega naught square. So if we put it in the trial solution which we taken, so the general solution of damped harmonic oscillation is C1 e to the power alpha 1 t plus C2 e to the power alpha 2 t. Just put the values of the two roots here. We have x is equal to C1 e to the power minus b plus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t plus C2 e to the power minus b minus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t. So by taking common e to the power minus b into t, we can also write it as e to the power minus bt. It is C1 e to the power root over of b square minus omega naught square into t plus C2 e to the power minus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t. So this is the solution for a body executing damped harmonic motion. We have just taken common e to the power minus bt, so it is C1 e to the power minus e to the power root over b square minus omega square into t plus C2 e to the power minus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t. So this is the solution. And now here the C1 and C2 are two arbitrary constants. They can be easily evaluated from the given boundary conditions, that is the value of displacement or and velocity at some given time, and the nature of this solution will be dependent upon the quantity b and omega naught. Upon depending on these two terms, the nature of the solution will be determined. So this is the solution. In the next section we shall discuss how the damping is affecting the motion. So we have already seen that the equation of a body executing damped harmonic oscillation is given by d2x dt2 plus twice b dx dt plus omega naught square x. This is equal to 0, where 2b is r by m, which we have defined earlier, and omega naught is equal to root over of k by m, which is also defined in our earlier class. Now here we can say, and we have also obtained the solution of this differential equation as x equal to C1 e to the power minus b plus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t plus C2 e to the power minus b minus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t. We have also written this equation as x equal to e to the power minus bt C1 e to the power root over of b square minus omega naught square into t plus C2 e to the power minus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t. So first we shall discuss here the case of large damping, where the damping is very high. So for this purpose we have the first case, where the damping is very much high, that is b is greater than omega naught, which suggests that b greater than omega naught. So b square minus omega naught square, this is a positive quantity. So from this equation we have, look here, this is a positive quantity and b is higher than omega naught square. Already there is a e to the power minus bt term outside the bracket, so by combining these two terms it will be a negative exponent, and it will also be a negative exponent, that is e to the power minus b plus root over of b square minus omega naught square. This will give a negative term, so e to the power minus something into t, and this term will also give us a negative exponent term, that as already a minus sign is there, so minus b minus root over of b square minus omega naught square, and b is greater than omega naught. So from this two term negative exponent comes, and this, for the first case where the damping is higher, the motion will be non-oscillatory. It will be non-oscillatory or aperiodic in nature. If we write it as, suppose it will be some like this one, C1, the value, absolute value will depend upon the values of b and omega naught and so on. It will come like this, to the power minus something into t plus C2 e to the power minus something into t. That is a negative exponent in both the cases. So if we put it in a graph, it will be like this one. It will decrease with time. So it is a non-oscillatory motion, and we can call it a over-damped case. And the second case is where the damping is nearly, b is nearly same to omega naught. This is called the case for critical damping. Now if b is equal to omega naught, as we have seen that the root of this equation was minus b plus root over of b square minus omega naught square, and alpha 2 is minus b minus root over of b square minus omega naught square. And if b is equal to omega naught, then the two roots are same. That is alpha 1, this is equal to alpha 2. And if the two roots are same, then from the knowledge of mathematics we have the solution. This general solution will be like x equal to c1 plus c2 into t e to the power minus bt, as alpha 1 equal to alpha 2 equal to minus b from this definition of alpha 1 and alpha 2. So x equal to c1 plus c2t into e to the power minus bt. And look here, from this equation it is also a negative exponent of time. So it is again a non-oscillatory motion, but the difference with the first case, with the over-damped case, is that in this critically damped case the particle returns more quickly to the equilibrium position than the first one case. Here the rate of decay is more higher, more faster than the over-damped case. So if we plot it in a graph, x versus t, it will also, but here the decay is more faster. So this is called the critical damped case. So both these two types of motions are non-oscillatory in nature. The differential equation is d2x dt2 plus 2i's b dx dt plus omega naught square x equal to 0 for damped harmonic motion, where 2b is r by m, and omega naught is root over of k by m. We have discussed two cases of overdamped and critically damped motion, where the motion was non-oscillatory in nature, but the most interesting case is the third case, where we shall see what kind of motion it is. X equal to, we know the solution is c1 e to the power minus bt minus b plus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t plus c2 e to the power minus b minus root over of b square minus omega naught square into t. So this was our solution. Now if we have the third case, the third case is called under damping. Where b is less than omega naught. As b is less than omega naught, you see we have root over of b square minus omega square. Look, b is less than omega naught, so we can write it as minus omega naught square minus b square, that is I into root over of omega naught square minus b square. We are writing as I omega, where omega is root over of omega naught square minus b square, and I is root over of minus 1, all you know the complex number. Now what will be the solution? If we put all these values there, x will be, if we take e to the power minus bt common, it is c1 e to the power I omega t plus c2 e to the power minus I omega t. From the knowledge of complex number, we have I omega t equal to cos omega t plus I sin omega t. So putting all this value here, we have x equal to e to the power minus bt, so c1 cos omega t plus I sin omega t plus c2 cos omega t minus I sin omega t. Now taking common e to the power minus bt, we have c1 plus c2 cos omega t plus I into c1 minus c2 sin omega t. Now if we take c1 plus c2 and I into c1 minus c2 as, suppose it is c cos phi and it is c sin phi, and put all these values here, it will be x e to the power minus bt c sin phi cos omega t plus c cos phi sin omega t. What we get? If we take again c common, we have x equal to c e to the power minus bt sin a cos b plus cos a sin b, that will be sin omega t plus. Look here, the motion of under damped case, here it is a harmonic in nature. The sin omega t plus phi term is there, but look here, the amplitude is no more a constant. Here c e to the power minus bt, which signifies that the amplitude decreases exponentially with time. Now if we plot in the graph, if we plot it in a graph, what will be the nature? As we know, So look here, the amplitudes are of decreasing order. So the amplitude decrease with time. We have this plus C minus C, the maximum value, and the amplitude is decreasing with time, C e to the power minus kt. So the underdamped case is more interesting than the previous two cases of overdamped and critically damped. Here you can see that this motion is oscillatory in nature, but the amplitude decreases with time and diminishes exponentially with time, and due to the presence of damping, after a certain while the motion dies down. Now we are going to obtain the energy expression of a damped harmonic oscillator. As you know, the total energy of a oscillator is given by its kinetic energy and potential energy. And as we know, the kinetic energy is nothing but it is half mv square plus half kx square. As we know, omega naught is root over of k by m, where omega naught is natural angular frequency, and the expression of displacement is c e to the power minus bt sine omega t plus phi for a underdamped case, which is only oscillatory case for damped harmonic motion, which I have already discussed, and omega is root over of omega naught square minus v square. So now if we have these two terms and we want to obtain the expression of energy, we take the derivative from x. We have dx dt is equal to minus c into b to the power minus bt sine omega t plus phi plus c omega e to the power minus bt cos omega t plus phi. This is the expression of dx dt. Now putting all this value in the expression of energy, we have E is equal to half m into dx dt whole square, that is this term whole square. Plus half kx square, k is m omega naught square into x square, x is this one, that is c square e to the power minus 2 bt sine square omega t plus phi. Now from these two terms, what we can take common? We can take common c square e to the power minus 2 bt. So we have E equal to half m c square e to the power minus 2 bt, and inside the bracket we have b square sine square omega t plus phi plus c square cos square omega t plus phi minus 2ab, that is 2 into b omega sine omega t plus phi cos omega t plus phi, 2 sine a sine b, so we can write it as b omega sine 2 omega t plus phi, and we have from this term omega naught square sine square omega t plus phi. So this is the expression of energy. Look here, the time dependent term is present due to the damping. So we are going to find out the average value of energy over a complete time period. Now when we are going to obtain a time average over a time period of a function which is time dependent, that is defined as average, this is a time average of ft over a complete time period, that is 0 to t ft dt. Similarly, we have to perform the for energy is 1 by t 0 to t e dt. Look here, if we take a system with small damping, then we may take e to the power minus 2bt term as nearly constant over the time period. So we may take it out the integration and we may approximate it as constant over a complete time period while we are going to obtain the time average of energy over a complete time period. So now see what we have to perform the integration, that is average of energy is nothing but half mc square e to the power minus 2bt. This is b square into plus c square into minus b omega into sine 2 omega t plus phi plus omega naught square into sine square omega t plus phi. So now we have to perform these time averages by performing some easy integrations. Suppose it can be easily shown that sine square omega t plus phi, this is equal to cos square omega t plus phi, this is equal to half, and sine 2 omega t plus phi, the time average is 0. I shall perform one of the integration and other can be easily checked by you. So first of all, let us think about this one. Suppose we have cos square omega t plus phi. What is this? It is 1 by t into 0 to t phi dt. So just perform this integration, 0 to t cos square omega t plus phi dt. We have to perform this integration. Multiply it with half 2 cos square omega t plus phi. That means 1 plus cos 2 omega t plus phi dt. So if we integrate, we have half 0 to t dt plus half 0 to t cos 2 omega t plus phi dt. Now if we integrate this term, a sine term will come out, and if we put the limit 0 and t, we shall see that this term vanishes. We shall use omega t equal to 2 pi, the fact we shall use here while putting the limit. So we only left with t by 2 from the first term. Now if we put here, we obtain average of cos square omega t plus phi. This is equal to 1 by t into t by 2, that is half. Similarly, we can show that is sine square omega t plus phi time average is half, and this is equal to 0. It is simple integration. Now, so we have from this expression E average half mc square e to the power minus 2bt. It is b square and this is half, so it is b square by 2. It is c square, it is half, so c square by 2 sorry, it is not c square, it is omega square. C square has taken common, it is omega square by 2 minus, this is 0, and we have plus omega naught square by 2. So if we just recall that what was omega is root over of omega naught square minus b square. So omega square is omega naught square minus b square, and we obtain from here E equal to half mc square e to the power minus 2bt b square by 2 plus omega square is omega naught square minus b square, this is by 2 plus omega naught square by 2. So from here b square cancels out, we have E average equal to half m omega naught square c square e to the power minus 2bt. So this is the time average of energy over a complete cycle of a body executing. So we have just obtained the expression of time average over a complete time period of energy E as half m omega naught square c square e to the power minus 2bt, and the expression for displacement is given by c e to the power minus bt sin omega t plus phi, with omega is equal to root over of omega naught square minus b square, where omega naught gives us the natural angular frequency of vibration. Now if we consider this term, ignoring the e to the power minus 2bt term, we may consider that this is nothing but the energy of a undamped oscillator, that is E naught half m omega naught square c square. So we have E is equal to E0 e to the power minus 2bt. As we can see, the total energy of a weakly damped oscillator decreases exponentially with time with e to the power minus 2bt. As we know, some energies are lost to overcome the dissipative force present in the medium to continue the vibration. So the mechanical energy is lost, and the expression of energy is given by the average energy is E0 e to the power minus 2bt. E0 is given by half m omega naught square c square. This is the case of energy of an undamped oscillator. Now if we plot it in a graph, what will be the nature of the graph? If we plot energy versus time, it will be of decreasing order. As time goes out, the energy decreases rapidly. So this is the expression of energy. And now a quantity is defined as the time energy decay time constant, or we also call it the relaxation time, and it is denoted by tau. It is called the decay constant of energy, or we may call it as relaxation time. This is defined as the time during which the energy falls to 1 by E of its initial value. That is, the energy decreases to 37% of its initial value. That means we have E equal to E0 e to the power minus 2bt. Now at relaxation time, E becomes E0 by E. The time is defined, the relaxation time or the decay constant is defined as the time taken by the system to fall the energy 1 by E of its initial value. That is about 37% of the total energy. As we know, that as time increases, the energy falls rapidly. So if we put this condition into this relation, we have E0 by E is equal to E0 e to the power minus 2b tau. So E0 E0 cancels out. From this relation we have tau equal to 1 by 2b. So it is dependent upon the damping constant. A system with a low damping has higher decay constant, that means it decreases slowly, and a system with a higher damping, then tau is smaller, that means it rapidly decreases to 0. And Now, as we see that energy decreases rapidly as time goes on to overcome the dissipative forces of nature, so if we consider the rate of loss of average energy, then we have already that E is equal to E0 e to the power minus 2bt. So we have the rate of loss of energy, this is nothing but dE dt. So dE dt is, if we take derivative, and it is taken as negative. Why negative? Because as energy decreases with time, as time increases, energy decreases, so that signifies, so we have from here 2 b E0 e to the power minus 2bt. So this is again A0 e to the power minus 2bt is the average energy, so 2be. So this is the rate of dissipation of energy. Another quantity which is very much useful to determine the quality of a damped harmonic motion is called the quality factor. It is called the quality factor. It is denoted by Q, and it is defined as 2 pi into average energy stored per cycle divided by average energy lost per cycle. Energy lost per cycle. Now we have already obtained these two expressions. This is the rate of dissipation of energy, rate of loss of energy. So this multiplied by the time period gives us the average energy lost per cycle, and the average energy stored per cycle, this is nothing but this one. And if we put all these values here, we have Q equal to twice pi. We have average energy stored per cycle is E, and average energy lost per cycle, it is dE dt, that is 2be. It is the rate of loss into the time period. And we know E cancels out, twice pi by t is omega. Twice pi by t is nothing but omega. And we have 1 by 2b. So it is omega by twice b. What is, and this is nothing but the damping constant. And we obtain from here that if we have a system with low damping, then the quality factor is higher, and if we have a system with a high damping, then quality factor is smaller. And we already obtained 1 by 2b is tau, so it may all again be written as omega into tau. So this is the expression of quality factor.